So I got into like all these really good projects, and then I was in NFTs really early, dude. Like I pulled some money. It was a decent chunk of money, CryptoPunks, apes, you name it. Like we had all of it. Everything like went up really fast. You know, we made money off of it. So no, it was good. It was a really good time. And then obviously,
like Manifold days.
Well, so I co-founded Manifold when I was still at Caesars. When I was like, just as I was leaving Caesars.
Nice.
Hold on, I've had startups fail, right? We don't need to like talk excessively about those, but it's not like everything I've touched. You know, whenever anyone tells their story, it's all of the stuff that worked. Oh, I did this, I did that, and all of a sudden it just magically flows together. But it skips all the like times when you're sitting there with your stomach fucking crunched up, thinking you're about to go broke, and like all the times when like everyone fucking hates you. Like, you know, when a project doesn't work, no matter how smart you are, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you put your ass in the line, you get fucking abused from everyone. Like, it's crazy. You're a fucking idiot. You're a piece of shit. You know, I never should have invested money with you, blah, 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 blah. And despite, people are very emotional with like how they invest, and then myself included, right? Like I fight that animal urge, but like, you know, if people invested rationally, then there wouldn't be as much opportunity as there is in the world, right? So I think if you ask me like, oh man, like does that does that give you PTSD to think about that time when you had that shitty company and it like just wasn't working and everything you tried it wouldn't work? It's no way. Some of my funniest, I was actually a week ago, and you know, Monkey Tail by almost all standards is doing very well. Now, we're still really young. We haven't accomplished anything really yet, but everything directionally is going the right way. And two guys that I brought from, you know, a startup that didn't do as well to Monkey Tail. We were talking last week and we were reminiscing about the time where we had to call like, I don't know, like 17 different suppliers and negotiate our bills down because otherwise we were going to go BK, right? Like we literally spent 2 days like in a living room huddled over a table, like talking to lawyers and accounting, like, hey guys, you're going to have to take a 30% haircut here. Yeah, it's either that or you chase us in collections court. Like, what's it going to be, right? And you know, these are miserable conversations to have. But you gotta, you know, when you're a founder, you gotta fight for your investors. You gotta fight for your people, right? And not everyone can always win. You know, that's what they don't tell you. And so those moments, dude, like we would be sitting there over a table, just clawing tooth and nail to just survive. And then we'd go out and toss the football outside. And it just, you know, like this moment of huge relief. You know, like when you lose a lot of money in the casino and you and your buddy both lose and you walk out of the casino and you're like,
at least we did it together.
Yeah, at least we're together. You know, like misery loves company, right? I think those moments will never be bad memories in my life. Like they're quite good memories. And the reason why I'm such a fucking killer, like people know this about me at Monkey Tail. Like people know I don't tolerate crap. I fire fast. Like I'm super hard on my staff. I raise the bar like a lot and then raise it again and raise it again. I'm not an easy person to negotiate against because I've been screwed over so many times that I know now, like, hey, this is like, these guys are saying they need this, but they really only need this, you know? And like, you get more comfortable navigating the world and you become more dangerous.
And you read people way easier after someone.
You read people better, but you also know like where your cushion is and stuff. And you know how to do better long-term business. You just become more mature, right? And that's the one thing when I'm investing my personal capital, very, very, very rarely do I back a young founder. Like when I say young, I mean like early 20s, because they haven't been fucked over enough, you know? They haven't been like desperate. They haven't been hurt, you know? Like I think those scars help a lot. I look for people who like, if I'm going to back a company, I want someone in like their 30s. Ideally someone who hasn't this isn't their first startup. It's their like third or fourth startup. Even if I don't care if the first two are successful or not successful, I just need it to not be your first, right? Because first time founders, man, there's just stuff you have to do. I mean, dude, like setting up HR processes in a company, setting up payroll, setting up tax stuff, setting up lawyers, auditors, you know, dealing with like, your emails and your systems, and now you're pen testing for, you know, if you're in tech, you're pen testing for your platform. People are trying to hack you externally, people are trying to hack you internally. I'm talking to, dude, these are things that are just like blocking and tackling. I haven't even talked about building a business yet. Like I haven't talked about like tackling a market opportunity and all and how hard that is. But like, so building a business is super hard. And like when people like hit me up and like I have the time to talk to them and they're like, hey, like I want some advice as like a founder. Usually my advice is like, don't found a company. Like, no, like why would you? Like most of them fail. Unless you have like incredible superpowers in something that you need as a founder. Like for me, one of my things is I think I'm a very good macro thinker. Like I think I'm very good at saying, okay, here's like an opportunity. So like when I started Manifold or co-founded Manifold, right? I didn't have the idea for Manifold. It was actually like this, it was Jay that had the idea for Manifold. He brought me in as a co-founder. His whole thesis was like crypto markets are highly inefficient. Quant strategies will be an important part of the market ecosystem, down the road. And so we're really early. And so we should create a quant fund. And, there's a better than not chance that we make money. And he already had some things that worked, right? He already had some strategies that worked. For me, that was a very common, that's the macro of that makes a lot of sense. Underlying markets growing, new entrant into the market, should be able to take some market share, should be able to make, that makes sense to me. You look at Aether and like Aether was same situation, like building tooling and software for institutions that want to execute on a more on a level more analogous to how they execute in traditional markets, right? So all of that made sense to me. And again, anything in the crypto market I wanted exposure to because the crypto market's growing so fast. Liquidity is growing and all that stuff. Now there were speed bumps in the crypto stuff that, and that's something as an early founder you don't realize too. You can get, with Manifold was crushing it. And then we wake up one day and SBF, and FTX and this whole like literally destroyed the crypto market. Like I'm talking overnight, every single crypto company had to fire like 50 to 80% of their staff. It didn't matter how smart you are. It didn't matter how good your business was. It was just crypto winter and it was tough. And that happened right before Christmas. So like I was laying people off. During the holidays, which as you know me as a person, like that's a very tough thing for me to do, right? And so those battle scars are very helpful because like as I'm building Monkey Tilt, I think if I was 25, I'd be like, oh my God, we're crushing it. We need to go spend all this money. We need to go sign all these celebrities. Cause all these, by the way, when you run a company like Monkey Tilt, you get every bozo and their mom has an idea for you on how to run your business. Oh, you need to sign this guy. You need to sign that guy. Oh, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And everyone wants to introduce you to someone that's just trying to ask you for money, right? So, I know this guy who owns this club, or I know this guy who owns this restaurant, I know this guy who owns this brand. And all these guys are asking for his money at the end of the day, right? So I think in your 20s, you get really excited. You just want to do everything. Oh, yeah, I'll do all this stuff. And I think when you get older, you say, okay, this might actually be good down the road, but not now. This is good in 6 months, or this is good in 18 months. I think that maturity is really important. The ability to say no to things, the ability to stay calm when it's easy to get excited, the ability to stay calm when it's easy to get ridiculously depressed, like when we get hacked or exploited or whatever it is, right? So I think age and experience matters a lot in startups.